Okay, hello. Basically, this is this video here. This movement down here is more the animation as opposed to the particles. So you need to actually play with the simulation of the particles before, so that you're happy with the movement. Because at the moment, basically what I've done here, other than not set an initial state, is I reduce down these two here, I get more movement. Obviously that's not very nice movement. Reduce down that. So basically the goal smoothness, if it's at 0, it will stick to the body throughout the whole time. If you increase that, it will be slightly delayed and it will move around a bit more. Goal weight, min and max as well, is, so if I turn it all the way down, the particles should leave the body altogether. Okay, so they'll just stay in space like that, and then you can get them to go back. So if you really wanted, you could have it so that you keyed this. So the key, so, and then it'll go back to the tail slowly. So you've got some movement there. Let's delete that. So now it'll, so if you set the lower, if you set the 0, if you set the goal weight min to 0 and the goal weight max to 1, then you'll get a random number between the two for that throughout the whole tail, so you'll get a lot more movement, although it doesn't look so nice. Depending, I mean, you'd have to really crank up the amount of particles for it to look good when rendered, so like, because otherwise you end up with like spots everywhere. And you could also increase the max radius so that they merge a bit together better. Obviously that's a bit too much. So basically you'd need to do this until you get the sort of look. I'm not sure how floaty you want the particles to be, but on top of that, what you do is if you go to edit fluid, well, you don't have to, you can just edit these here, but you need to, so these here would actually, they animate the texture on there. So there's a fluid attached to this. So can't really see it much, but basically there's a fluid attached. So if I increase, obviously this would increase the render time if you did this. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but so you can start seeing the output of the fluid. I'll just put that back. But basically, the X, Y, and Z values animate the fluid, and that's how you can get some additional movement on the tail. And there's lots of things you can do with the fluid really in here. You can you could animate the threshold, you can animate any of these things in here and get different looks, texture scale, make it implode, explode. It just depends on how much you want to play around with it really. But basically I would first I would import the scene and the character, do the basic simulation on Cupid, so you get the tail right, and then do a few tests like between 2 frames. So I've got so if I flick between these 2 frames here, not these two, you can see that's the animated texture moving up and down. So if you do a couple of tests to see how much it's moved between the two, and you can get an idea of the speed of the texture. And that's it really. Okay, thanks.